Yeah.
No, we're live.
We're live.
Andy. We're live. We're live. Andy, we're live. Andy,
He's about to pull his pants down. We're live.
Ow. Right down the shin bone.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting the Kandarian.
we're live now. We're live.
Welcome, Wrestle Buddies, to our predictions show. As you can see, we are the most professional bunch in the world. I am joined by my brother Jimmy Baby. How we doing, Jim?
Awesome. I'm ready for tonight. I'm pumped.
And we've got Matty, who's doing this quiz but 2 times in a week, mate. 2 times in a row now. Awesome. Awesome to see you, Matty. And then, hi, Zain.
Yeah, I couldn't have had a better intro, Andy. Love you for that.
No, it is Wrestle Buddy's little shit. My favourite Wrestle Buddy of the bunch. It is Zain.
Yeah, it is me.
Contrary to what y'all may believe, we actually love this little guy.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, that's getting a lot of love this Sunday. That's amazing. I love you all too.
Don't worry, it won't last.
The love will always last from the Quizmaster.
And what are we all thinking for? Are we all so excited for Survivor Series?
No.
Shut up. Eddie Kingston's gonna be there, bro.
Is he?
Do you know what?
Yeah, he's gonna be front row watching a real wrestling show.
Let's just say, going into this pay-per-view, I feel like I'm on a diving board. Let's see if we botch. Let's see if we succeed.
It's the weakest Survivor Series I could recall.
I said to you, Jimmy, didn't I, that I felt like because it's been so low-balled and our expectations are so low, it's probably going to turn out to be great.
Yeah. And WWE apparently teased a big surprise on their Instagram earlier today. Mm-hmm. If you smell what I'm cooking, Andy.
You best piss off. You can stay in Australia until whenever.
Oh, come on, Andy. It's Rock 25.
Yeah, but I love The Rock, and this is the whole... It's not me coming from a bad place. It's me coming from a good place because I want The Rock to be at WrestleMania Hollywood. So this is like the critical moment for me now as to whether I get to see him or not.
Look, Andy, can't you sell your tickets for Mania Hollywood and then buy them for this year's Mania?
Certainly not.
Get to see The Rock.
That's too logical, Zain. It's too logical.
Knowing WWE the past year or so, like how they've booked Survivor Series, The Rock will get a 2-minute, hey, how you doing? I'll see you at WrestleMania, and then just dip.
And then watch someone like Mustafa.
I'll be going to WrestleMania, so I don't care. As long as they announce I'm good.
I'm not,
Andy's going to be stuck with Miz in the main event of his.
If he shows up, I swear to God. No, I don't see it because they're saying that he's doing Jungle Cruise too and all like that. Nick Edwards, hi mate, how you doing? Comments in the comment section on YouTube.
How you doing, Nick?
How you doing? Yeah, looking forward to the show, mate. Obviously, it doesn't look like it's going to be a great show, but
are you talking about this podcast?
I'm really excited for Nakamura and Priest. At least that match has a lot of juice to it.
Yeah,
you know what? What would have made it have more juice if they hadn't pinned Nakamura a week ago in a tag team match where Rick Boogs could have taken the pin. But nonetheless, as a match, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Just what's going to I was going to say then I had a really good point and now it's gone flat out my head. Thanks, Zain, Davey.
No worries.
Okay, so we'll go straight into the matches anyway. Shut up, Zain. Made me lose my point there. 25-man over the top battle royal dual brand. Yeah, it gets a lot of faces on the card, does it not?
Yeah.
And I like these little battle royals, me. I always have done, even in the earlier days. I like the battle royals, and they've got to get almost over somewhere, haven't they, Matty?
It would be nice if this was on the main card because Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and AJ Styles are now all relegated to the pre-show, and I am not okay with that.
That's okay though, man. You get eyes on the pre-show.
I
think people look too much into the whole pre-show being a bad thing. Because back in the day, that's how Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy were getting notices on the pre-show.
Oh, and those matches were phenomenal.
Yeah, so I don't think the pre-show is necessarily a bad thing.
It just feels like really thrown together in like a throwaway battle royal.
Oh, definitely just made to throw away, but
yeah, doesn't mean we can't enjoy it.
Yeah,
I think it's the Battle Royal. So, yeah, there we go. Our first prediction. I'm going to give you my prediction 100 as exactly it will happen. Right? AJ will get turned on by Omos. Omos will win the Battle Royal. You're welcome.
You want my prediction on this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. So they've announced it as a 25-man Battle Royal, right? Now, all 25 men are inside the ring, right?
Andy's already corpsing.
The lights go off. Vince comes out. He says, well, this isn't a 25-man Battle Royal. This is a 26-man Battle Royal. And then he goes to the back. And then you hear, the world is cold, better run. And then Eddie Kingston walks out. And he just, well, Alex, it's too late now. And he just throws everyone over the top rope.
Right. Do you know what,
that's how you get eyes on this main card for Survivor Series.
Okay, so this is very, very plausible, right? But the only thing I'm going to do is Vince McMahon comes out and says, it's not 25, it's now 26. We are going to make our biggest Make-A-Wish to date and let Eddie Kingston go. So Eddie Kingston finally gets through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He finally gets to act as a wrestler. Right, Jimmy, what's your thoughts, mate? Come on, let's get some sense into it.
I was going to say Omos, but since you picked him, I'll go different. I'm going to say Sami Zayn. I've wanted Sami Zayn to win something all year. King of the Ring, Money in the Bank. He would have been gold with either of them. Give him a little battle royal. I mean, what does the man got to do to get a victory? For real.
Matthew?
For some reason, after you said Omos, that definitely popped into my head as a definite possibility. He's the biggest guy in the match. How are they going to get him over the top rope?
I know.
But
the same way they always get the big guys over the top.
Yeah.
I was about to say it. But in my head, it's between the three that I said earlier, and I'm going to go with my dark horse. I'm going to go with Cesaro.
Okay. I tell you who else nobody's mentioned here, which is interesting. It could be quite a bit easy way to get him kind of into the mix with everything, is Von Wagner. So obviously they've teased something with him by showing him on SmackDown, kind of showing like he's going to do something.
Hey, Rev.
Harold, how we doing? Well, yeah, they showed him in that little segment the other week, even though we never spoke. So obviously he was backstage at SmackDown for a reason. You could have him versus Omos at the end, and he puts out Omos, and automatically he kind of gets him over a little bit, you know, thing.
Yeah, and Vince is very high on him, so that's plausible.
Okay. I was just curious that Vince being high on someone equates to them standing next to Adam Pearce in a segment.
That's how you debut him.
I thought they would have given him a match or something, or even acknowledged him in the least.
He ain't ready yet. You just get him in there, and a battle royal is a great way to get him a victory without having him to really go the distance with somebody. He's still green, but I mean, a battle royal really hides that kind of stuff. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm gonna go for AJ Styles as a real prediction. I think him and Omos make it to the end, and he orders Omos to just step over the top rope and eliminate himself.
Okay. No, don't see that. Well, all right. So we've got that. So final predictions then. Shut up, Zain. Right, Omos. Matty?
Yeah, I'm going Cesaro.
Zain?
Styles.
Jimmy?
The once-in-a-lifetime generational talent, Sami Zayn.
He is.
El Generico. Right, okay. Right, so number 2 on our list, we have United States Championship match. Damian Priest versus Intercontinental Champion. Well, United States Champion Damian Priest versus WWE Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura with Mr. Boogs. Now, because the push that they're giving Damian Priest, or what they seem like they're doing with Damian Priest, for me, this would be a no-brainer, and it would be pretty simple win for Damian Priest on this. But obviously, Vince McMahon seems that high on Ricky Boogs that, you know, we even had it at SummerSlam where they came out with no match just to do the entrance. So, you know, that's kind of like a little bit of a negative something just peeping in the back of my brain as to, will he let Nakamura win just so Boogs can play again? What's your thoughts, Jimmy? I didn't see you moving.
So here's what I'm looking at. Damian Priest, I don't think he's taken a loss yet. And it looks like they're doing a little bit of a character change with him. I think this is the perfect opportunity to finally give him some adversity and make him take a loss. And, I mean, Shinsuke, he gets booked so badly as champion. It makes no sense why they do what they do with him. So throw him a bone and give him a victory on a big pay-per-view. And that's just how I see it. I think it would be and it would shock people, which is always good. You want to make people like go, oh, damn, that just happened. And yeah, I think it's time for Damian Priest to finally take a loss and really kick that character change into gear.
Yeah, I mean, they've been kind of teasing a bit more of an aggressive Damian Priest, haven't they, for some time, rather than the smiley Archer of infamy that we've been used to. Matty, what's your thoughts? Do you think he could do with a bit of a reset?
Yeah, and I do agree with Jimmy. If Priest loses to Nakamura, this should definitely kick up another gear to that character change that we're seeing. Hopefully WWE just doesn't look at it and go, and stop doing what they're doing with it. But I was about to say, I need a more aggressive Damian Priest is always going to be good. That moveset fits a more aggressive, faster pace. So Damian Priest, if he does take the loss here, would be great. Plus, like Jimmy said, Nakamura deserves a good, this is going to be a good match without a doubt. But give Nakamura a good win on one of the big 4 pay-per-views, since every time he's been to one, it seems they just basically say fuck you unless it's the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, then, Zain, what's your thoughts on this, mate? I mean, I feel like Damian Priest could be that aggressive gangster type, Scarface, that type of character. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like Damian Priest is being heavily pushed, and he's the United States champion, and he's definitely the better mid-card champion, because Nakamura, on the other hand, has been booked for the lack of a better term, shit. Just to put this in context for you, he won the Intercontinental Championship on 13th August, right? The day AEW launched Rampage, the first Rampage show happened. The night Christian Cage beat Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship, right? Since then, a lot has happened. Do you know how many televised title defenses Shinsuke Nakamura has had since then? Any guesses? Yeah, one, exactly. No, one, yeah. I saw you doing that 0, and you don't cover it up. He's had a single title defense, right? And he just took a loss last week against Los Lotharios. I don't see why Nakamura going over Priest would be a good choice. They're not only killing Priest's momentum, but it also doesn't make sense. Give Priest the win. Nakamura already doesn't mean anything to them right now. If you gotta build him, give him some wins over other talent before giving him a win over such a big star you have there, who can't really take a loss right now in Damian Priest.
Yeah, why do you think he can't take a loss though? Honest question. If he's going through a character change, he's going from face to heel, which is what they seem to be teasing, and they want to give you a reason for him to really snap and be more aggressive. How would you do it if you don't have him take a loss, his first loss, in a match of this magnitude?
Especially
you have him,
especially with nefarious me. Let's say you do have Rick Boogs in Nakamura's corner, which could also distract Damian Priest, because baby faces are stupid for some reason, and that will trigger him to go off the handle, maybe attack Boogs.
Also, if you've got a baby face champion on the show, you don't really want to add a babyface undercard as well, undercard champion, should we say, or mid-card champion. Yeah. So it'd be the natural progression for Damian Priest to start moving into a heel turn, into a heel turn, really, yeah.
At least into a dark tweener.
Another point is we all agree that no matter how poorly Nakamura is booked, he's still someone we look at as a top talent, correct?
Yeah,
100%.
So Damian Priest losing to Nakamura, even though he just took a loss, is still believable because we all know how good Nakamura is.
Yeah.
So I don't think it hurts Damian Priest at all. And I think of all the opponents Damian Priest has had up to this date, I think losing to Nakamura would make the most sense out of all of them. And again, to get him to snap and get that character into the next level where they want to get it.
Yeah, but can't we do that with Priest running? Because as you mentioned, Nakamura is a big star. He was the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. They like made it relevant at one point, right? But because regardless of how many losses, how many defeats he incurs, Nakamura still remains one of the top stars the WWE has. So if Damian Priest goes over Nakamura, wouldn't that benefit him? Like, do like a very cost benefit analysis. And if you want him to snap, just have him snap after he beats Nakamura. He just grabs Boogs' guitar and just smashes him.
But why would he be snapping? That's the question. I like there to be reasons for things, and I feel like if he's already teetering on the edge, a loss would really make him go over that edge and be like, what the? Maybe even take Boo's guitar and just destroy them, like something. That's my reasoning behind it and why I think it makes the most sense. I know a lot of people be like, well, WB never makes sense. That's false. It's very false, and you all know it. And this would be a good way to like prove that to people like you, Zain.
Okie doke then, guys. Well, Supersonic X in the chat says Nakamura for the win. So let's knock these in. I'm going to go with Nakamura as well. I think Supersonic, I agree with you on this one. Jimmy?
Yeah, I wish I could say it like Rick Boogs does, but I can't. Nakamura for the win.
Matty?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
It's
the best I can do.
Close enough. Zain?
Damian Priest.
Okie doke. Right, brilliant. All right, so we'll move on to our next match. Raw Tag Team Champions versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. We have Team RK Bro from WWE Raw, and they go up against SmackDown's the Usos of their bloodline on SmackDown. Really good match, this one. You know, I think we've said this on a lot of prediction shows, and I'm going to repeat it because we always do. Usos do not have a bad match.
Yeah.
Usos do not have a bad match, and this will be no different. As for the prediction for the win, it's a hard one because you got the Usos, who obviously part of the hottest storyline in SmackDown, but also in WWE as a whole. And then you've got the RK Bro, who one of the saving lights one of the shining lights for me on Raw. Matty, what's your thoughts, mate?
This match is going to be phenomenal. I believe this is the first time that Matt Riddle, in any capacity, has had a match with either of the Usos, other than like maybe a Rumble or something like that.
On Monday they did.
Oh, they did? Well,
6-man tag. Go watch it.
I appreciate that. But like, we haven't had a lot of time to see what they can do.
Yeah.
And given that this is a main card champion versus champion match, I think they'll give this quite a bit of time. And Orton's hot tags, for some reason, have been some of the best as of late. Crowds have really been getting into it. So I can totally see the Usos beating down on Matt Riddle and that hot tag just lighting the crowd up really early into the show. So this is going to be a fun match. I think all in all, this might be one of the best matches on the card.
Totally agreed. So, what's your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this one. Like, arguably one of the better matches of the night, because RK Bro, as we've all mentioned for the last several months, has been one of the best things about Raw. And their matches are entertaining as well. And as you mentioned earlier, and the Usos cannot have a bad match. And with the whole bloodline thing that's going on, I feel like the Usos are going to be the ones who take the win here, because RK Bro right now, they need to eventually start building up to kind of the Riddle versus Randy Orton match, which I feel like they might be building to, and I feel like that might take place at WrestleMania. So they've already started teasing these difference in opinions between the two guys, and I feel like their differences are going to lead to their loss against the Usos at Survivor Series. But this won't necessarily mean that it's the breaking point, but it surely will lead us one step closer to that.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, what's your thoughts on this one?
I think this is the match you start the main show with, because as Matt pointed out, Randy's hot tags have been phenomenal during their run as a tag team. Second best in the business behind John Silver. But I think I look at the story with the Usos and I look at the story with RK Bro, and I think that's the most interesting part here because you have the Usos who, if they take a loss, it's not going to be good for them. But if RK Bro takes a loss, it kind of fits with the story that we all know it's leading to with Riddle and Orton probably at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The way to really, and we've seen it tease a little bit. Randy Orton's really stepped up his tenacity when getting in Riddle's face about always trying to be the hero and this and that. I don't think we see it happen at this show, but I think they build it up just a little bit more. We get a classic match that because Randy's awesome, the Usos are awesome, and Riddle is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated wrestlers in wrestling right now. He like the Usos, Matt Riddle doesn't have a bad match. It just doesn't happen.
No. Just out of interest, Jimmy, when would you start breaking them up? Would you break them up and look?
I would do the breakup at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You'd do it at Royal Rumble or
the night after.
The build up for them and then we'll have them have a WrestleMania match?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, right.
Especially since you don't have a pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania now. So you don't have to worry about there being a rematch thing.
Have they not got the fast lane?
Are they going to announce this?
I don't think there is. Last time I checked, there was no pay-per-view between the two because Royal Rumble is going to be taking place in February.
Yeah, no, it's January, actually, I think.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, Royal Rumble's the last weekend in January.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I think it's the 27th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a Saudi special in between. I'm not sure. I think it was reported that it might be announced.
Do you know what? Do you know about shout that in? Because last time wasn't Greatest Royal Rumble like February.
Oh, wait.
They're supposed to do two a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it would make sense.
Okay, have Royal Rumble in the end of January and have the Greatest Royal Rumble 2 weeks later.
Well, I don't think they'll do. I don't think they'll do the Greatest Royal Rumble again. I think they'll do something completely different. Won't they?
Crown Jewel or what it was called?
It was Crown Jewel. It's Greatest Royal Rumble.
What's the Kingdom one? It's not Wrestle Kingdom. That's New Japan. Super Showdown.
Super Showdown.
Yeah, Super Showdown.
Okay, yeah. I don't want them to do a big Saudi show between, though, because the last one was a WrestleMania caliber show.
Yeah.
Do a show like that right before WrestleMania?
And,
no, thank you.
That just happened like a month ago.
Yeah.
And it really kind of fucked up the build to tonight.
100%.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. No.
Right, guys, let's focus back then. So, RK Bro versus shut up, Zain versus the Usos. Zain, go on then.
The Usos.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Matt Riddle takes another pinfall, and the Usos get the win.
Matty.
I agree with Jimmy. It's the Usos.
I'm gonna go for RK Bro on this one, lads.
Like 100%. I think.
Keep in mind, Matty exclusively agrees with Jimmy, even though
with them pinning Matt Riddle and everything as well, like the whole shebang.
That's because I come up with good points, Zain.
Yeah, hey, your point didn't have Eddie Kingston in it, so it doesn't count.
Exactly. That's why it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, okay, guys. So let's move on to the next one. Then we've got women 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. We have on Team Raw Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Queen Zelina Vega, and Carmella versus SmackDown. Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm. This one was just absolutely from start to finish exactly the same as the men's. Heap of crap that's not being promoted properly whatsoever. You know, we had Aliyah removed from the women's SmackDown team and Toni Storm put in there with no, you know, I think we talked about it last week and you said, Jimmy, well, let's just see what happens on SmackDown. They might explain why Aliyah was took out, which they didn't. So talk about just absolutely mishmash shite. Jimmy, I'm going to go to you first, mate. What's your thoughts on this?
I hate to say this because of how much I love women's wrestling, but I'm not invested in this match at all. I have a feeling like because the bar is so low, I'm sure I'll still be happy with the match. I just hope they get time for this to like breathe and for the intertwining stories involved in the match to kind of take place. I don't want it to be one of those pinfall, and it just the ends like that. I think the ending will be a very, very interesting turn of events to kind of really get Liv Morgan over as a serious threat to Becky, and then further push the Sasha Shotzi ordeal.
Yeah. So could you see kind of Shotzi costing Sasha here or vice versa?
Yep.
And then Liv Morgan coming out with the win. Interesting. I agree with you. I think Liv Morgan, they've got to start booking her because she was on Tribute to the Troops and she lost to Bianca. And it was like, but she's a credible threat to Becky. It's like, yeah, but didn't Becky squash
if
Bianca?
Liv isn't the sole survivor tonight, then they've completely shit the bed with this.
Yeah.
Not to say they haven't already, but this will be like the ultimate shit the bed if Liv Morgan is the ultimate survivor.
Yeah, definitely. As I say, it's kind of strange at the fact that he didn't. She took a pin loss against Bianca Belair on Tribute to the Troops, which was quite funny. Matty, did you see that?
I did not, unfortunately, see that, but
not unfortunate, mate.
Yeah. In regards to this match, however, I do think it's going to be like quick exchanges of pinfalls until we get to the final tag teams. So I think it's going to be like breaking down to Sasha and Shotzi and probably Liv. And honestly, I see Rhea going out early due to some random shenanigans, but maybe Liv. Honestly, I see Rhea. Oh, I heard myself echo.
Sorry about that. That was me.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, no, I do think like the final three will be Liv and Sasha and Shotzi. There will be turmoil between those two, and Liv will be the sole survivor.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Zain, do you see it any different than us three?
Actually, yeah, I totally agree with what Matt just said. But I also have to think of this way, that they need to start building up challenges for Becky's Raw Women's Championship, right? And if anything good's going to come out of this, they need to build a credible threat. And I feel like Liv Morgan can do that very well. And because I think the three big names in this match are Rhea, Bianca, and Sasha, right? And now Rhea and Bianca, they both like kind of eliminate each other some way, and I think Sasha will Shotzi take care of her, like sabotages her, and then like as you said, I can really see this going down to what Matty said: Liv Morgan, Sasha Banks, and Shotzi Blackheart, and then Shotzi somehow costs Sasha the win, and then I think Liv then pins Shotzi to win the match for her team.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I see no other way apart from this. Do you know what? I thought you were going to turn around then and say, lights go out. Edwina Kingston comes up.
No, it's just one Eddie Kingston per prediction stream.
Sorry, you were just really shocking me at the fact that like you actually come up with a really good answer. I'm really joking.
He just stole it from me and Maddie.
The thing is, though, Jimmy, it's progress. It's progress, Jimmy. We're making progress here. We're getting really insightful speak from him instead of his normal jibber jabber about it. Well done.
Alex, can we cuss on this stream? Just like give us the prompt, like where you're writing the great stuff. Like give us the prompt. We can cuss on.
Yes, Papa. Is it okay if I curse?
Yeah, I don't want us to get like taken off YouTube or something.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Zain, I call you a little shit on every pod, so you know. I figure we were going to get kicked off. We would be.
I'm pretty sure last week we were dropping F-bombs like crazy.
Yeah. And
let's not get
later on the live streams get wild. So yeah. All right, guys. We'll
the live stream show get wild when they start with you showing off your tattoo on your side.
I've got a tattoo somewhere else. Zain. All right. Zain, Raw or Smackdown?
Raw.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Raw.
Matty?
Yeah, it's the red brand.
Yeah, definitely red for me. Okie doke, and we'll move on to our next Survivor Series match. We'll move on to the men's 5x5 elimination traditional Survivor Series match. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory represent Team Raw. Team SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Xavier Woods, Jeff Hardy, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus for the blue brand. My straightaway thought is a win for Raw again, because you could look to maybe do somewhere where Austin Theory is the standout in this one if you're looking to develop, but then I don't see both. But if you know, it's not going to be one brand that wins both sides, so I'm thinking more towards the blue brand on this one. What's your thoughts, Zain? Go on.
Yeah, because everyone else is gonna say some pretty relevant stuff. I just want to point out, like when you open the card on Wikipedia, it says that Team SmackDown will be accompanied by Madcap Moss and Ridge Holland. What the
both
hell
of them?
Ridge? Yeah. And Ridge Holland is currently Sheamus' stan, and I just can't wrap my head around that story for a while. So I'm gonna take some time to talk about Ridge Holland because I think he's an absolute amazing wrestler. But him coming to SmackDown and doing this stuff, it's absolutely a shame what they have for him. So I really hope that he moves away or gets a win over Sheamus some point down the line. But right now, the stuff they're doing with Ridge Holland, it's abysmal. As for the actual match itself, I wanted to see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens be the sole survivors, but since they took Sami Zayn out of the equation, I really feel sad. I really feel bad for him. I really feel bad for the fact because he was the most valuable player on SmackDown for the last 6 months after Roman Reigns, and now he's been taken out off the main card and he's delegated to the pre-show. So yeah, as for the match itself, Team Raw looks pretty solid. I'm going for Team Raw.
Okay, Jimmy.
I'm gonna go back on my original prediction because I originally predicted Raw to win this one as well. But if Austin Theory ends up being the sole survivor, I don't care. I'm happy because that dude's a superstar. But I think much to like what you were saying, I now that I'm thinking about it, two wins from the same brand, I don't think that's gonna happen. When they did the clean sweep a few years ago, that was not well received. So I don't see them going that route again. And to go along with the brilliant article I just wrote about Xavier Woods, which you should all check out if you haven't.
www.wrestlebuddy.com.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and say the push continues for our King Xavier Woods, and he ends up winning this thing to really give him some more steam.
Brilliant. Matty?
I do think this is going to go in the side of Team Blue. But I think it's for the reason of Kevin Owens not really knowing where exactly he stands. I see him stunnering absolutely everybody on Team Raw. Absolutely everybody, and then just leaving. So I think Team Raw might actually start with a disadvantage. But yeah, I see SmackDown. I see SmackDown taking the win, but I don't see a sole survivor. I do not see a sole survivor. I see SmackDown actually taking this definitively.
I really love the fact that Andy's popped up the stream on his phone and he's just staring at his own self on his phone right now.
See, actually, unlike you, Zain, I'm actually doing what's called promotion. So I'm sharing it through a load of wrestling groups on Facebook. So people come and talk to us, and hopefully we can have people unlike you dickhead, and we can speak to people who are nice. See,
my efforts are not going unnoticed, Andy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Supersonic.
Right, so, see, the more people we get like Supersonic, the less likely we are to have sports skiers shit as writer on our podcast. I'm only messing. You know I love you, Zain.
Holy shit, we should change your name from the Redeemer to the Shooter. Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
I can't even move. Right, so Supersonic says Team SmackDown. Matty?
It's Team Blue. It's Team Blue all the way this one.
Jimmy?
Oh, man, I'm going to say Team Blue, but I'm secretly pulling for Austin Theory at the same time.
Okay, Zain.
Yeah, Team Raw. Love the prompt, Alex.
Eddie Zain Kingston.
Enabler.
Sorry, guys. Bloody can't. These ribs are killing me. Okie doke. So next one we've got is Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. The build up to this match has had me absolutely laughing my head off because they're going on about the fact they don't get on together, all this stuff. And WWE have tried to jump on that fact and build it via that. Jimmy, I know you've got a lot to say about this.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the role of thinking it's not a work. I've said since day one I thought it was a work. Let's just go ahead and pretend it's not a work and this is legit.
Mm-hmm.
I will legit lose my fucking head if Charlotte goes over in this match. Becky has been a consummate professional since day one. She's gotten over by herself, and whenever someone is in the ring with her or in a feud with her, they're better off afterwards. I'll argue this till I'm blue in the face. Becky helps get talent over. Charlotte is everything the exact opposite of that. I've said it since before all this backstage stuff, the rumors were happening. You could just tell that at times Charlotte's bored. She doesn't care. She doesn't sell for people. And I've always thought since the man gimmick came along and Becky skyrocketed to superstardom, Charlotte has had this jealousy about her because Becky Lynch is what Charlotte Flair should be, and Becky had to work for it, whereas Charlotte didn't. If you take away Charlotte's name, you take away her gimmick, what is she? She's just a really talented wrestler that's not going to get over. So at the same, like that's all that I'm putting all that into why there's no way in hell Charlotte needs to go over in this match. It just doesn't need to happen. Just
to answer your question as well, you said, what if you take all that away, what do you have? A blow up doll. Matthew?
A talented blow up doll. I'm not going to take that away from her. She's very talented.
Do you know what? The best match we need to have is, well, we've already seen it in the Indies, haven't we? Is Omega versus Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte wins.
Yeah.
She lost last time.
Yeah.
Matty?
I think, like, absolutely 100%, this match is going to be phenomenal. And it's going to be everything that Becky and Charlotte can put into a match. And then us as the fans are going to get shit on, and this is going to be a no contest.
Interesting.
Shame.
I do not have a lot of hopes for me being in the watch along and just sitting there and watching the end of this match. I don't have a lot of hopes for this.
Just go back. Supersonic. Becky knows how to make everyone a star, but Charlotte doesn't make anyone a star. Example:
100%.
100% agree with you, mate. And on top, just to extend on that as well, is Becky Lynch still looks like a star when she didn't have the belt. Charlotte looks so lost when she hasn't got a title around the waist.
Charlotte needed the belt to become a star. Becky just became a star.
Yes, very organically. And you can see that now because Becky, if you took the belt off Becky tomorrow, she'd still be big time Bex, blah, blah, blah. They'd still have a lot to do with her. With Charlotte, she'd take the belt away from her and she looks like an interviewer without a microphone. You know, she just looks so...
That's where the disinterest comes in. You clearly see in her face, like when she's coming to the ring or when she's performing. She doesn't have the belt. She just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Okay, Matty, anything else from you, mate, before we move over to the him?
In terms of like, are we going to see any professionalism? I think like this match is going to be like a professional wrestling match. Don't think we're going to see any of the stiffness that a lot of people are expecting, or we might see a botch or two, but you know, nothing like them trying to deliberately fuck each other over.
I think we get the stiffness because even if it's a work, they want to sell the fact that it's not. So I'm sure they're going to want to be like, hey, throw in a few of these shots to kind of really sell the whole story.
Yeah, definitely. Zain, what's your point on this, mate?
Yeah, I feel like unlike popular opinion, going against popular opinion, I think the build to this match has been really good. I have really enjoyed it, and I don't like. Some people might think that this is a shoot. Some marks like someone sitting over here, but I really feel like this, like, obviously the initial report about them exchanging belts, right? That was wrong, but they've done a really good job of building this up in interviews and promos and even everything they've done outside of within the confines of the WWE television. So I feel like they really have something here because at least they have sold the match. We're going to be watching the match with interest. Like, it's not like other matches on the show where you're like, all right, it doesn't matter who wins, it doesn't matter how this finishes. You're going to have eyes on the show, and that's the best. Like, that's what a promoter wants from a match. And we'll be watching the match. We're interested to see how this match goes, right? And these are two stars, and it's going to be a good match regardless of the finish because these two are talented wrestlers, right? And as far as the finish goes, I have to agree with Jimmy. Like, there's no way Charlotte loses this one. Sorry, there's no way Becky loses this one. Becky needs to win this one.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
here
don't
from
laugh,
Supersonic.
Jimmy.
All right, shut up, Zain. We've got people in the chat here. Supersonic, it's going to be an interesting match, but it might lead to it up to a DQ finish, a random interference from someone, a returning Bailey or Oscar, or a double count out. Don't see being Bailey. I think she's still out for a long time.
Yeah,
to
she's
come
still
I think
down.
she's returning till Rumble. I think she might return at Rumble.
I don't see Oscar interfering in this one. I don't really see the point in it. Apart from that, I can't. The only one that I'd really like to see interfere in this match would be Ronda Rousey.
Already,
He's not got it. For fuck's
I'd
sake.
rather watch Charlotte go over, bro.
Yeah, you've been doing so well, Zain, so well. But no, I'm not saying the only reason I'd say Ronda Rousey is because there's history there with the freedom at WrestleMania, yada yada yada. So if anybody was going to interfere, that would make sense. It'd be her. And I'm not saying it's going to be her or we're going to see her at all, but anybody apart from her, I wouldn't really want to see, if that makes sense, because they wouldn't make sense in the whole.
Wait. I was saying, like, didn't Ronda just have a kid, or
A few months
isn't
ago.
she? Yeah. So, do you think she might be slated for a return soon?
I think she's in the condition to where she could show up, interfere without having to like take any bumps or anything like that, and then get herself in shape for a WrestleMania showdown.
I think
now that Andy has said
Rumble.
that, I'm like really dreading the end of this match now.
I think we might see Ronda as a surprise in the Rumble.
Possibly. Maybe she can win the whole thing.
Maybe she should just stay home and never wrestle again.
No, I think
All
she
right,
has
okay.
one.
On that bombshell, then, guys, let's move on. So, Becky versus Charlotte, Zain,
Becky.
Jimmy,
Big time Bex.
Matty,
No contest. But if
Andy?
I have to pick someone, Becky.
Andy, the fans.
Now the fans are losing this one.
No, they're not. The best matches, the best stories are when realism comes in, and it doesn't get any more real than what we've seen.
Do you know what? I hope one of them just loses the shit and just sparks the other one and full on calf fight, mate. It'd just be brilliant.
You see Becky just break Charlotte's arm in half.
I hope not. I hope not.
Shut up, Zain.
I'm actually concerned for their safety, and you guys just want them to kill each other in the ring. Like who's the true heel here? It's you guys. It's obviously you. I'm the babyface.
I want to see them hug it out in the middle of the ring. Yeah, Zayn, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, see, that's some cheap babyface heat.
We're just not. Do you know what it is, Zayn? Right, we're not sleazy like you, because when you say you want them to hug it out, you want them to make out in the ring. You horrible man.
No. I wasn't even the one who said I want them to hug it out. I wasn't even the one who said it. Like, why would you take it there, Andy? How could you even comprehend that in your mind?
Hey, it's not coming from my mind. It's yours.
See, I didn't even put it out into existence. It was you who said it.
Andy is
okay,
just interpreting what
to-
you said.
Yeah. I'm just making sure people know what you are, Zayn. Right, let's move on to the main event then. In the main event, we've got the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, going up against Raw champion Big E. I've been very underwhelmed with Big E's whole title run so far. I think it's just literally Kofi Kingston 2.0. And it's sad. It really is. I'm just not really seeing him carry the belt well. It's too much of the slapstick comedy. I think Roman goes over clean here. Matty, what's your thoughts?
I've actually really enjoyed Big E's title run as of late. Him having matches with people like Chad Gable and Otis and trying to elevate people that were like in the middle of the card, like as a champion, I'm going to give them a shot.
But he needs someone to elevate him.
Yes, he does. And I do think this match is going to be that, because we all know Big E's a hell of a wrestler. Roman Reigns is a hell of a wrestler. Both of these guys are going to put on one hell of a match. And I see Roman going over. I don't know if I would say clean. If I remember correctly, he did go over clean last year, did he not, against Drew?
No, it was. I think there were interference.
There was still interference? Okay.
Yeah, I think wasn't it a no DQ match as well?
I think the referee got knocked out and like the Usos double super kicked him.
I remember they did a bunch of stuff outside the ring.
I mean, we could possibly see maybe a Xavier Woods interference, which then prolongs the storyline for getting like something one over back on Roman again.
But if we see Xavier come out, I think both the Usos are just gonna like stomp him down, and that would lead to Big E trying to go out, save him, Roman catching him. I really hope there's not any interference. I would love for these two to just get the time to tell their story in the ring. But something does tell me there's going to be some shithousery.
Yeah. Zain, what's your thoughts?
See, matches like these make me wonder why they have to go to these measures where they have to do champion versus champion in this Raw versus SmackDown thing. Because I really don't want either one to lose this match. And obviously Big E's going to be taking the loss. And Big E's run already hasn't been going so great, as you mentioned, Andy. And if he takes this loss right now, it doesn't help him a lot. Even if it's not clean, even if it's through interference, Big E doesn't need to take a loss right now. With like a couple of years ago, I think they did Bryan and Lesnar, and then they did Styles and Lesnar, and those were great matches. I agree. Even Reigns versus McIntyre were great but there was a very vast difference between the levels of the two wrestlers there, and even then, like I think Styles was a very freshly crowned champion, but Styles was a made star until then. This is Big E's first title reign, and in his first title reign, like what? It's been a couple of months now. He's into it, and then he takes a loss, right? I just don't see the point why they felt the need to book this match, apart from the fact they went, it's Survivor Series, so brand warfare, champion versus champion. I just wanted a good story out of this. It's a good story, don't get me wrong, but I wanted like them having their own respective matches.
It's one of them things as well, though, isn't it? It's always going to be hot shot booking, Jimmy, isn't it, when it comes to these champion versus champion matches? They don't really, in WWE's eyes, they don't really need a big story because there's already a story there with them being champions.
I kind of think there is a story behind this, though, and they've been building it since right before the draft, when they had the Bloodline versus the New Day on Raw. And like we said last week, they left it open-ended, and we all thought we were going to get that rematch at Survivor Series. It didn't happen. I still think that match is there, and I think if you're going to get a no contest match, this is going to be it. And that will help lead to what's the next show? New Year's
Day one.
Day one. I think at that pay-per-view, you might see the culmination of the Bloodline versus New Day thing, where you get the 3 versus 3 match. That way, I know a lot of people don't like the DQ finishes, no contest finishes. But with this one, if you really think about it, we don't want Big E taking a loss here, and we don't want Roman taking a loss here. So they booked the match. We can't do anything about that. So we just have to kind of look for the best possible outcome. And I think unfortunately, the best possible outcome in this match is the no contest. But back to what Andy was saying about Big E's title run, it has been underwhelming, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he is wrestling so much against, I don't want to say nobodies, but they're just throwaway matches. It doesn't make Big E look like a top guy. It makes him look like a guy that's just wearing a belt, that's having match after match after match. And he's had nobody to help elevate him. And I hope at this point it's not too late for him to come back from it, because he has Seth Rollins waiting for him. So that's a guy that can bring him back up. But yeah, I see this being a no contest scenario just because of the corner they've backed themselves into with this match.
Yeah, but
all right.
My question, sorry, just to intervene in,
no problem.
Do you think they're gonna end the show on a no contest, or do you think like Charlotte and Becky main event the show?
That's another point I want to make. I would be shocked if Becky and Charlotte don't main event this pay-per-view. I know Roman's the big dog, and he's main evented everything, and if he didn't main event, he started the show off. It's possible him and Big E could start the show.
And that's what I see.
I don't see that one happening just because of it being champion versus champion. But with the story and the names involved, it just would blow my mind if it's not Becky and Charlotte that end the show.
Totally agreed. Either way, it's going to be a good match. I see it being the first one on. Right, our last predictions then, guys. Jimmy?
Yeah, if I'm going to have to choose one, I'll pick Roman, but I think this is a no contest.
Okay, you can go no contest. That's fine. Matty?
This one, I'm going to go with Roman.
Zain?
Roman.
I'm going to go with Jimmy on no contest on this one. Well, guys, either way, we'll find out. Guys, thanks for joining us today for our predictions. Make sure you do tune in later. We will be having our live watch-along. Be Matty, myself, and a few special guests. So make sure you do join us for the whole pay-per-view. If it's a crap pay-per-view, we need you there to keep us company, and we can all rant and give whatever about it.
We need people to talk to.
Yeah, or if it's a great pay-per-view, we can all sit there and go on about how great WWE is. Either way, it's always good. We'll have a good time, and we'll have some. Until then, guys, we will see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button right now, and make sure that you follow us for all your content. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the like on the Facebook page. We are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. We are not. We don't care where you watch your platforms. We will find you. So, anyway, Zain, Jimmy, and Matty, thanks for joining us, and we will see you all again next time. Take care now. Bye.
Bye.